Yeah, really pleased to deliver a win for our fans in the stadium and our obviously our millions of fans at home. With a few exceptions, I thought we played so much cleaner. Five penalties, very few missed assignments from what I could see. I thought the points of emphasis over the last 2 weeks. Our punt protection was very solid. We ran the ball effectively, which opened up some downfield throws, and we stopped the run. To hold that team to 64 yards rushing and only one explosive play. We got a lot of work to do. We're still playing a lot of catch up from the installation of a new offense, new defense, some new special team stuff. Still playing a lot of catch up, but was very productive over the bye week, and our guys really bought in. And then the third point of emphasis, again, punt team, run the ball, stop the run, and then third quarter. We came out, scored a touchdown in the third quarter to start the third quarter, and held our opponent to 3 and out. And I thought really having challenged them all week, and then at halftime, just extremely proud of the response to those challenges by not only myself and our coaches, but the leaders on our team really stepping up, challenging their teammates, and really happy for our program, for our university, for our fans to get a much needed victory. And we know that we got a big one this week too, and we're going to celebrate this with our teammates and our families tonight, and get right back to work. 10 a.m. lift tomorrow with meetings and practice in the afternoon to try to get ready for Oklahoma State. On the injury front, you guys saw Joseph Osai went down, returned to the game, had a shoulder injury that we put a brace on, and it's going to take a lot more than that to keep Joseph Osai out of the game, and we expect to have him ready to go on Saturday in Stillwater. So with that, again, thanks to everybody involved, and questions.
Go ahead and start with Bob. Hey, Coach, you just mentioned it a little bit there, but you guys were outscored in Big 12 play 38-14 coming out of the half in that third quarter. What changed today? Do you have a different speech? What was it that really kind of changed things in the third quarter today?
I wish I could tell you, Bob, that there was some magic thing that we did, and there wasn't. We made an emphasis on it. In my opinion, once is an anomaly, twice is a coincidence, 3 times is a pattern. And so there was definitely a pattern there. And we wanted to make our guys aware of that. And Roshan Johnson gave a very impassioned speech. I call it a speech, 30 seconds, whatever it was, but reminded our team before we left the locker room to head out in the third quarter, reminded them of the emphasis that we'd been placing on it. And again, really proud of the way our kids responded.
Anwar, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, on third down, you guys only allowed them to convert 5 of 14. Can you now?
Can you turn that up now? There we go.
All right, take it up. Hey, on third down, only converted, gave up 5 of 14 on third down. Can you just talk about the importance of getting off the field and why your defense played so well today?
Yeah, it was really big, and when you factor in that fourth down stop, it was really 5 of 15 of getting off the field in terms of stopping drives. And so, again, you get what you emphasize. We practiced a lot on third down over the last couple weeks, and early in the game I was a little disappointed because we did get off the field, but it was after a couple first downs, and we were giving our offense some pretty long fields to operate with. But we got that settled down, and again, you get what you emphasize, and there wasn't any magical calls or anything. I thought we pestered the quarterback pretty well, and they completed some balls underneath us, but we rallied and tackled.
Jeff, go ahead.
Hey, Tom, can you talk about the running game just in terms of what was worked on during the bye week and what was working today? It seemed like you had success running out of 12 personnel. There were maybe some shifts and some emotions, and we're seeing it on top of that. How much time was spent by Coach Brady and Coach Yurcich and that staff kind of getting Bijan ready for what seemed like a bigger role today?
Yeah, a lot, and thought Bijan responded well. Thought our O-line, we had a few breakdowns. Number 2 is a hell of a player. Terrell Bernard, I think I said that in my Monday press conference, and he showed it again today. We have a ton of respect for him, and he made some plays for them in the run game, but credit to Coach Yurcich and the offensive staff for sticking with it and understanding that when you're playing as good a defensive player as he is, combined with the other guys that he has around him, they're going to make a few plays. But we had a couple 1-yard, 2-yard runs. That's okay. But we also had some 9-yard runs, 11-yard runs, 12-yard runs, and so I don't know exactly. To be honest with you, I don't want to give a ton of trade secrets away on quote what was working, but we challenged the offensive line, we challenged the tailbacks, challenged really everybody on offense, because the perimeter blocking too is a key part of that as well. And but no, it was. Last week we practiced Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and it was run period, run period, run period, run period, and both sides of the ball improved because of it. We didn't get any of those in a spring ball, or we got very limited amounts of those in training camp, and so we wanted to make the most of the bye week and improve our areas of deficiency, and for at least a week I felt like we did that.
Brian, go ahead.
Tom, you touched on it at the beginning, but can you just, is it impossible to overstate how important it is just to get a win, just to turn down the noise level, to turn down the outside noise of everything that's going on around here? Just how badly did y'all need a win today, just to get everybody to chill out?
Well, I would like to think that our players are trained to drown out the noise. I thought having Ryan Holiday come speak to the team about kind of his 3 tenets that he wrote bestsellers on, and the biggest one I think that really hit home was the stillness is the key. And you've got to have a still mind, you've got to have a focused mind, you've got to have a mind free from distraction and free from any of the noise, as you call it. And but you're only as good as your next ball game. We're going to enjoy this one, but we know we've got a very, very tall task ahead of us this week as well.
Nick, go ahead.
Yeah, Tom, just on Josh's big reception, it felt like that was maybe kind of a spark. I know you had this 72-yard catch before, but you guys weren't able to get into the end zone. Just what did that guy think for you guys kind of heading into the locker room right before the second half? How big is that? It's kind of an offensive spark for y'all.
Yeah, I don't want to downplay it, but that's an area where through 4 games we've had a lot of receivers make plays on kind of 50-50 balls, and we haven't, not near as many as our opponent. And Josh, I thought, did a great job going up fighting for the ball, and then was rewarded with a touchdown catch later. And I think when you play quarterback too, there's a lot of trust that goes into that, especially when you're dealing with one-on-one coverage. And for all you young receivers out there, prove your trust to your quarterback in practice every day by making him look good versus one-on-one coverage. And Josh does that, and Sam's got a ton of trust in him, and it did provide us a very, very powerful spark.
Time for a few more questions. We're going to start with John.
This is kind of following what Brian said. You talked about delivering a win for your fans and how the players are drowning out the noise. But how relieved are you with everything that's gone on over the past few weeks?
I'm always relieved to get a win. I've told you guys, my bosses and myself are completely aligned and on the same page, and I have made a habit of, I don't get on Twitter very often. I use it to recruit and every now and again celebrate momentous occasions. But I don't know that the relief of a win was any more today than any other time we win. Winning is intoxicating, but it is also a very, very big relief anytime you get a win.
You're up.
Hey, Tom, you've talked the last couple of weeks about transferring good practices to the game, and your defense put together 4 good quarters. How big a lift is that for those guys going into what's going to be a really tough test in Stillwater?
Really big. I can't understate it. To finally have 2 really good weeks of practice, then translate into, again, 64 yards rushing and 316 yards of total offense. That provides a lot of confidence. And when you're a defense that is, you're basically starting a bunch of freshmen out there, and I know they're not by classification, but this is only their 5th game in this defense, and they've taken the coaching, they've taken it to heart, and I think a game like this should provide a lot of confidence. Now we know we've got a lot of work to do, and we've got a top 25 team ahead of us, so we're by no means a finished product on any side of the ball, but to have that kind of performance for 3.5 quarters, I think was very uplifting for that side of the ball.
Go ahead, Kirk.
Yeah, Tom, now that you've had all of 8 or 10 minutes to enjoy the win, can you speak to how wild your series with Oklahoma State has been, and do you and your players have confidence that you're still in this race?
Well, we don't talk about the race. I do think that the leaders on this team understand who we have left to play, and that there's a long road ahead, and a very positive one if we take care of what we need to take care of. But those things are very difficult to do too. And but we don't talk about it. We talk about taking it one game at a time. But I do think that the guys that understand football in that locker room know exactly what we still have left to play for. And as far as the craziness of the Oklahoma State series, I don't have an answer for why it's been crazy, but I know Coach Gundy's usually got one of the better teams in our conference, and they put up a great fight each and every week, and especially in Stillwater, and we're going to have to bring our A game. I know that.
The last one, so Steve and then Danny.
Hey, Coach. First of all, the running game really set up your big chunk plays today. You haven't really talked about that a lot. I mean, you got 160 some odd yards off of 3 big passes for you. That's something that's been kind of missing the last couple of weeks, I assume. And then secondly, defensive-wise, Baylor didn't try to attack you guys down the field a lot. Was that something that y'all schemed against Brewer? Did y'all see that in the film, or how did that work?
Yeah, we played a little bit more too high shell to prevent, to protect our corners a little bit, and we knew that in order to push the ball down the field with any kind of double moves or kind of switch routes, whatever it would be, that would take some time, and we felt confident in our pass rush too, and so we kind of understood that, or at least had the assumption that the game was going to be played underneath, and we were going to make sure that it was too, and protect our corners, not get beat deep. We gave up one explosive the entire day, and I feel like that worked really, really well, and credit to Coach Ash and the defensive staff for kind of organizing the game plan that way.
Last one, Danny.
Tom, after the last couple games that he had and some of the issues he had in them, how pleased were you with Keontae's, how he handled his workload tonight? And then also, Roshan, was he just not fully able to go today?
Yeah, I think we didn't talk about it much on the headset, but he had 1 carry for 1 yard. He could have gone back in had we needed him to, but Bijan and Keontae were carrying the ball well. The offensive line was doing a good job, and Roshan's a freaking warrior, man. He's a warrior, and he played on the punt team. He ran down there. He blocked for the, he played on the kickoff return team. But I think it was more of can we win the game and still keep him from taking the pounding? And the answer was yes. And so especially with Roshan and Keontae, or excuse me, with Bijan and Keontae running the ball and our offensive line doing as well as they did.